Hi, this is Erin Zimmerman, owner of Elephant Social, and welcome to ChatConnect, a web series where, this season, I will be speaking with some badass lady entrepreneurs who are here to basically rule the world. Today, I'll be speaking with Meredith Schneider, a photographer, writer, and multimedia maven. Oh, and did I mention she's my sister? Without further ado, here I am, Erin Zimmerman, with Meredith Schneider.
So, for those of you that don't know, I have a twin sister. And her name is Meredith. And this is her. And when I first came up with the idea for this web series, she was the first person that I thought of to interview because I thought, how interesting would it be to interview my twin sister? Because it's not something that you think of on a regular basis to do. Or even to schedule a time to sit down unless we live farther apart. We live 20 minutes away right now, so I think that we, or I at least, take for granted the time we do have together. And and she's a badass lady boss in a few ways. So fits in with the theme of this season. Yeah. And for the first time, we're both drinking wine. Not for the first time ever. For the first time on ChatConnect, we're both drinking wine.
Yes, and it's white wine, which surprises me, because Erin, if you are not aware, really enjoys her reds.
This is what I had at the house.
So this is what we're drinking.
So this is what. So cheers. Sitting down. Finding time to chat and connect. How don't you like that?
Oh. Can we drink now?
So,
Can I?
oh,
Can
yes.
I drink now?
Please drink as I ask you questions. I don't have any prepared questions except for the very end. So, how are you?
I am hanging in there. I got a sunburn this weekend. Everybody wear sunscreen. I put it on once, and then I was outside for a couple of hours, and that was a mistake. So I got to go to do a photo shoot with the band in the West Bottoms today of Kansas City, and had to put some makeup on and be super embarrassed that it was flaking off. It was super cute. So they only made fun of me briefly, but I had warned them. So
Is it just
it's
side?
So I fell asleep at the pool. I didn't get in the pool. I just fell asleep at the pool.
Oh.
And so the sun was over here, and it decided to. Yeah, I got lines everywhere.
We didn't plan for her to sit on this side of me, but I don't know if hide it.
See, it's there.
It's bright red.
It's very red.
Oh gosh,
It's
that's
very
painful
cute.
to look at.
Yeah, it's
Your face is painful to look at.
Thank you, twin sister.
Anyway,
Identical twin sister.
so I described you as a badass lady boss. Want to tell us a little bit about how you are a badass lady boss in your business/career life at this moment in time?
Yeah, it's gonna be extensive, and it also feels like I'm tooting my own horn a little bit. I'm not very good at that, but
I mean, for once, I'm going to invite that.
well, fair. I have worked in marketing for the majority of 6 years, so I feel like I've just been tooting everyone else's horn. That sounds really weird.
Toot toot. This
So-
is almost real quick. This is a very different kind of interaction because usually we're just talking. Like we're not like semi-facing a camera, and it's a different interaction for this show because we're talking to a computer usually, and like I'm in person, and it's weird to me to have like this third person aspect here.
Are we breaking the fourth wall by speaking to the audience? Is that what's happening?
I think so. Okay, I apologize for interrupting. For the only time I will ever apologize for interrupting. in
Yeah,
our lives.
she does that a lot. So do I. So
We
it
do that
might happen.
to each other.
So right now, let's see. Since 2010, my sister and I have been cooperating Doubletake Productions with a lot of our business ventures right now. We haven't been doing it as much on the weekends, but it's actually really fun. We do a lot of photography, as you guys probably know. Photography, videography, editing stuff. We've done wedding slideshows. We've done music videos.
And I actually haven't really got into that a whole lot yet.
We do a lot. together under Doubletake Productions, which was Erin's idea because we're twins. No, you're not
when people see us, they have to do a double take. It happens with little kids a lot.
Babies.
They look back and forth.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. They know what's going on. So yeah, been doing that, and then also under that, we both do hair and makeup for special events. So we've been doing that for like prom and homecoming and weddings, and this week actually on Friday during my lunch break at my regular job, I'm going to be heading out to do hair for a wedding. So I mean, I do all of that with you,
but it doesn't fulfill her wholeness. She needed more. So
Clearly
she has a
I'm
career.
Insane. Clearly I'm insane. So yeah, I started working at a marketing company. They actually do, the rest of the office actually does video marketing, but I get to be, well, I at first was a test subject, so I got to run, and still do, MOSHERY.com. And that is a lifestyle and entertainment blog. We don't update as much as we used to, only because, I still update at least once a day, but only because I now stretch out my editor-in-chief position over 2 publications, both MOSHERY and IMPOSE magazine. IMPOSE has been around, I don't know if you know, they probably don't know, it's an underground, mostly underground and like new music blog. It's been around for about 13 or 14 years and was originally based out of Brooklyn. And we acquired it, my media company did, and so...
Which is a huge deal, because we're in the Midwest, we're in Kansas City. We're a growing hub for arts and culture, but we're not there yet. Like, we're not, we're not the New York and LA of the world, obviously. And so for a New York-based company to
now be run out of the Midwest.
Pass it on to the Midwest. Like, it's huge. And you're the editor-in-chief there.
Yes, I am.
And on top of that, in your company, you are, as of the time of this recording, the only female in the office.
Yes.
Yes.
I am. I'm the only creatively driven. I mean, we have one female that works there, but she works off-site. Okay. So it's me and a bunch of dudes.
In the office.
In the office.
You and a bunch of dudes, which, I mean, we grew up, like, as a couple of the guys.
Yes.
Like, all of our neighborhood boys, see, that's the point. All of our neighborhood friends, for the most part, were boys.
Yeah.
So we played baseball in the backyard. We'd play in the mud pit that became a house eventually.
Yeah.
Running
things the kids do, playing in mud pits and construction sites. We did that.
We had a cool construction site one time. I actually, when I was in, like, 3rd grade, started to write a book about it. I found it recently.
You should finish that book. I think it'd be pretty interesting.
Are
you doing like a babysitter's club / what is that, boxcar children kind of thing?
Kind of. It was dialogue heavy with me being annoyed with my parents.
That's cute. I feel like that's something we would have written as kids.
She's like,
I'd probably still write it now.
sans curse words, obviously. Oh, guys, I can't believe you're making me clean my room, which we never were made, like, we never had to. They tried to put us against each other to, like, compete to see who could keep their room the cleanest, and we didn't even.
Well, we did that sometimes. We also won't, like, no diss on my parents, I love you guys. We were the kids that did all the chores and got 50 cents a week. Like, we worked for that money.
We were the kids who didn't do all the chores.
Well, we didn't. We did more chores than the people that got $20 a week.
I think we were better negotiators than we were workers, which I think also lends to our entrepreneurial spirit. Not that we're not good workers, but that we
We were efficient.
Move things around.
We were efficient.
We worked.
Manipulative? Is that what you're trying to say?
No.
Maybe.
So we did. We had this construction pile because our neighborhood was still under construction, and it was like down the street. So like we were in a cul-de-sac, and then the street that our cul-de-sac was on stopped. There were no houses. It was just dirt.
Hay bales. There were hay bales.
It was
on that dirt.
Dirt and dirt and dirt until you got to a golf course. So that was also fun. We would adventure onto the golf course sometimes.
And Shul Creek, the creek in there.
We just walked onto a golf course.
I'm sure we interrupted play. That wasn't very polite
we
of us,
did.
actually.
But there was this big pile near our house of construction items.
Doors and tiles and
Nails.
yeah.
I wrote one chapter.
That's it.
That's it.
I've written a lot of things that haven't finished, so that's okay.
But that's okay.
Yeah,
Have
I
you-
read a lot of things that are finished now, so.
I read a book recently. Like very recently, like last week. I'm finally finishing books, like reading them.
I think she's lying.
And it talks about how some projects, if you hold on to them for too long, they want to be made by someone else. So they go on to someone else sometimes. So like, for instance, I one time was like, oh my gosh, I need to create a toothbrush where you put the toothpaste into the toothbrush and then you just push a button and it comes out of the bristles and it's just there. I saw it happen. It was on an infomercial.
How does the toothpaste stay not stale?
I don't see it on infomercials anymore, so my
Okay, so
assumption
maybe
is
it didn't work.
it was crusty.
That's
But-
a cute word. We should always say that word.
But then we hold on to ideas for a while, and then if it's not time for us, or maybe that idea wasn't meant for us, we pass it on to someone else. Or we come back to it later. So maybe those book ideas, what were you writing books about? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to share any of that? No? I mean, if not, it's fine
I mean,
too.
like
We can move.
memoir books, and like I started one that was like advice for high schoolers because by the time we were done, I hated high school. Or like by the middle of junior year, I
Why
did
do you
not
think?
like high school
Well, without getting into like,
detail. I just think that it's too long. I think 4 years is too long. If you're an efficient, productive human being and you don't like sitting in a classroom, it gets boring. And you know, when you're in a small school, which we were, and we got a great education out of it, but when you're at a small school, you know all the teachers and you know all the students and you see the same people every day and it just gets mundane. And I was not about that. And you and I both wanted to get out of Kansas City and we did it for a while, so. But, like at that point, I started writing hey, like if I could do high school over again, this is what I do. Like, kind of to help the kids that were still in high school because we were friends with so many of them. I thought like, I'll get this published and I'll help them. And then like never finished it. And then when we were done with college, I kind of started something like, if you're not cool in college, it's not the end of the world kind of thing. And I started a memoirs book while I was in New York. It was pretty funny actually. But I had a blog going with that and wasn't allowed to post everything because I worked at management companies on Broadway and music management companies. And so I had disclosure agreements. I couldn't share things.
but are you able to share those stories without names?
Yes. In
Tad
retrospect.
bit of detail.
Yeah, probably.
Why don't you take your blog post, and we'll get into that. She lived in New York for a year after college. Why don't we just collect those blog posts and turn them into?
Because they're not totally full now. Because I had to take some of them down. Like I couldn't use all of the material.
Did you not save them?
Not all of them.
Backup hard drive.
Not all of them. So a lot of my stuff got kind of trapped on my computer when it stopped working. Back up all your material. That's a good lesson to learn.
So anyway, back up your shit. I want you to talk a bit about New York. What took you there?
I was
Start
working.
with
I came home for 9 months and lived with my family, and I was fine doing that. I like Kansas City, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, and so I was just like, ugh! And I applied to jobs everywhere, and everybody's like, you don't have experience. So graduating a year and a half early, which is what we both did, didn't necessarily help. You had to know people. So I actually got a small paid internship, and I remember I was dyeing shoes in the back room at David's Bridal, that cornflower blue color, and I got an email and it was like, you've been accepted for this position, and I was like, you know what, why not? And so I had a couple of friends at the time that lived out there, and so I moved out. I paid pretty minimum rent on the Upper East Side, and it was really good. It was really good. I will say, I was living in a dining room. It was a really nice apartment, but I was living in a dining room with like a burlap. One of my roommates was studying to be an interior designer, and he set up a burlap curtain. So I kind of had a little bit of my own space, but I did also, that air mattress, that first night, it went out. So I slept on hardwood floor for most of that year. And then we got a couch finally, and that was my bed. But yeah, I worked at an advertising agency that specialized in Broadway, but while I was there, I helped them make decks that got us Scholastic, L'Oreal, and a bunch of other crazy things. So now they actually do like Fashion Week and all this other stuff. So I was in on the ground floor of all that, and that was really fun.
And then you interned somewhere fun too.
Then I interned at a music management company that deals with some really great bands. It brought me back to high school. It was like Panic at the Disco and Train and Fall Out Boy and...
Okay, Train didn't take you back to high school. Train was to like...
Yes. But I also got to meet them. That was crazy.
Since you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I always wanted to be a musician. And then I changed my mind a little bit, and I wanted to be like Alexandra Pitsavas, who she chooses the music for the OC. That was where I first heard of her. She owns Chop Shop Records.
The OC.
Yes, I'm basic. There's a lot of people that know the OC and they know the music that's associated with it. But I wanted to do that for a living, and just because of her. And that's why I got into Gossip Girl and like 500 Days of Summer. Like if I see Alexandra Pitsavas' name on something, I'm going to see it. Because she chooses music that really reflects the emotion that's supposed to be felt in the scene and in that moment. So I've always thought like I could score stuff too, or I could have this bevy of music and choose from it and be like, yes, this is how I feel. So I really loved that, and I always wanted to work in music, so I jumped at that chance, and it was really fun. Like hung out with Syra a little bit in the office. She's a rapper on the West Coast, and she's really cool, and danced with Pat from Train when he came back from drinking with one of the managers. And so that was a really fun experience. At the end of the internship, I was looking for a job and things weren't super clicking in the city, so I came home.
She moved to New York without ever being there before. She went with two suitcases
and a backpack. And
that
was
was
it.
there.
And I had never been there, and the first day was your typical like, no one cares about me, like no, because people in New York are horrible. And my cab driver on my way to the apartment was like, well, don't think you're making any friends because everyone here is looking out for themselves. Like legitimately was the greatest guy.
I don't fully agree with that.
I think people try to make connections in that city, but there's so many people and so many things going on that it's hard to stay afloat.
You can easily get lost, like, not get lost like you're not sure what avenue you're on, but you can easily get lost among all the people.
Yes. So, but yeah, but my sister came out. She'd never been out before. We saw like half of the city. Like you think you see the whole thing. Like I took him to Columbia and stuff, and we did a ton of things, but we didn't see enough and didn't do enough. And we were tired one of the days and like just eating cupcakes and went to see a movie. Like just couldn't handle it. But we ended up the coolest part of that trip, for me at least, because it was something new, was like we got tickets to Steve Fest Coachella.
Yes, Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
Did that a couple of years, didn't he?
Yeah, and
I still have the Colbert Report.
It was on the Intrepid. It was on a battleship, and so the three of us and my friend Ari, we went.
We have memories like elephants. Legitimately. She remembered that I wore this dress, but we're both kind of like that. What are some of our similarities, you think?
We look alike.
Okay. Or would you rather go for differences? Because that was going to be my next question.
No, because we both are very loyal human beings, and we both are very interested in the arts. We both want to work somehow in film. She wants to make them, and I would like to score them.
We are motivated. We obviously work together. But our differences also, like, I don't know. I feel like we have similar things that we like, but at the same time we're completely different.
Yeah.
But maybe at the same time, I've been thinking about this more recently, the reason that we are different is because we tried so hard to establish ourselves as individuals starting in high school without ever really thinking about it. You know? Like people can tell us apart because we may be identical, but we don't look exactly alike.
Some people can't tell us apart.
And so they looked for ways to tell us apart. So what is that? Like,
Erin has bigger eyes.
Yeah, it's like we have different shaped eyes. We're mirror image twins, so I'm left-handed. She's right-handed. Left foot, right, left-footed, right-footed.
And I noticed this in the last couple of years. My left ear feels and kind of looks like it's chewed on, and Erin's right ear is the same way. And I am under the impression that Erin and I may have split.
Completely not scientific at all. The scientific part of this is
on
that
this side, like my left and her right was attached.
a lot of people don't actually know the difference between fraternal and identical twins.
Let's establish this.
Identical twins are the same egg, and it splits at some point. I mean, maybe it split like 2 days before we were born. I'm just kidding.
No.
That can't happen. But it split at some point, so that's why she thinks that we split on this side.
Fraternal twins are 2 eggs.
Yes.
So there's some facts for you. And don't ask us dumb questions next time you see us. Watch this video first.
Or ask dumb questions, and
you'll get this look. Don't ever ask. Don't ever ask, like, do you wake up and think that you're your sister? Like, do you guys try, I mean, well, this is kind of a valid question. I get this all the time. Do you guys ever try to trick people? Like, no. I never really have.
all the time.
And people are like, did you ever take tests for your sister? Why? We're both geniuses.
Okay, I wouldn't say geniuses.
We're smart.
Okay, so you went to New York for a year.
Yes.
You came home.
Yes.
What are you terrified of? I caught her off guard. I was totally
Having to use my renter's insurance?
No, but like, are you terrified of anything? And terrified is like a very polarizing word. It's very strong. Are you terrified of anything? Or is that just, you don't feel that because that's too strong? Or are you scared? Or
No.
nervous of things?
I worry a lot about a lot of little
But
things.
worry is different from terrified.
I know. Does it have to? I'm terrified I'm gonna be a crazy cat lady forever.
Are you really terrified?
This is Schmidt.
She said she's terrified of being a cat lady.
But they don't allow dogs in my apartment. So I got a cat. And his name is Schmidt. And I like him.
I think he's trying to say hi.
Say hi? Meow.
So she doesn't want to be a cat lady.
He has no way to get down. Oh no, he wants to get down off the table.
Nine lives, right? No, I don't. Here's the thing. Terrified is a strong word. I know you worry. I know maybe you're scared of some things. I don't know, but terrified.
Then why would you ask me that question if you don't think I'm actually terrified?
No, but I don't know. I was asking you. Here it is. What's your favorite band, Meredith? I'm asking knowing the answer.
That's not fair. Why would... I love Hanson. I've loved Hanson since I was 7, but it reignited when we were 14.
This isn't a bad thing. This came up in my episode with Erica Gellerman. She's a closeted Hanson fan. We, however, are not closeted.
No.
I would like to take this opportunity to sing.
Do you know the real lyrics?
The chorus of Mmmbop.
Do you know the lyrics?
Together.
Do you know them?
You're gonna find out right now.
Are we gonna sing them or say them slowly?
No. We're gonna sing it.
Okay.
We're gonna sing it like we're Hanson. -1.
Okay. Just the chorus.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So when I say 1, we're gonna start with Mmmbop.
Okay.
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 And you can watch me because I do know it. Thank you. And we're gonna learn you something. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Mmmbop, ba dooba da ba doo ba, ba doo da ba doo ba, ba doo ba da ba doo. Yeah, yeah. Mmmbop, ba-doo-ba-da, ba-doo, bop. Ba-doo-ba-da, ba-doo, bop. Ba-doo-ba-da, ba-doo. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. And Mmmbop the gone. Yeah, yeah. Try to end it like that. I just kept going. Honestly, I wanted it to be a solo project starting at the...
After the chorus? You wanted me to stop singing? You want me to stop
And
singing?
it started as solo and then...
I just thought we were still going.
What's your favorite movie?
I will always be partial to Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl.
And
Why would you even sing that?
will always love you.
I know, but why would you even sing
You're
that?
always going to be you'll always love it. We didn't even see it till it was out of theaters.
No. And then we rented it when renting was still a thing in 8th grade around Christmas.
And then we printed the script, the whole
thing.
script. We memorized it. And then Meredith, what did you do next?
Well, when we got the movie for Christmas, I watched it 22 times in the first month. Oh yeah.
And Meredith, what did you do next?
I wrote a script. Well, it took, I didn't write it
How old were you?
I was 13, and I wrote a script to what I thought could be the sequel, and it was just the first part. It was like one scene, and I submitted it to Disney. Got a response. Disney does not accept unsolicited work from people who are not already signed.
They say they don't
With
even open
the
it.
company.
However, if you now see a plot for Pirates of the Caribbean 24,
Because they're still making them.
I enjoy making films, and I can't write a script to save my life. I can't.
I say I can, and I start writing them, and I don't finish them. And then when we make films, we make them improv films, and they're actually really
For the most
fun
part,
that way.
I'm getting better, I think. Probably not. I actually have never made anything that wasn't a mockumentary or a documentary. So...
But yeah, I did that, and I got a letter back, and I didn't tell anyone that I sent it. I sent it from my friend's house, and then I got the letter back, and my parents found it, and they were weird about it. And then my
They
friend...
were proud of you!
They were proud of me, but I didn't want anyone to know.
What's your favorite game to play in the car?
Not really play games in the car. We sing songs in the car.
That's what I was going.
It's not a game, though. She likes to sing a lot of songs in the car. And well, like more recently, because it happened recently, we sang a lot of Demi Lovato in the car. But Erin's pipes...
Demi Lovato can sing.
Erin's pipes broke down a couple times when she was singing it, but are you going to try to get one of her songs pulled up? Which song are you choosing, Erin? Which one are we going to sing for everybody?
Find out. And we didn't even watch the Disney Channel until well into high school.
That's true.
And we weren't teeny boppers until the end of high school into college. And
I have to sleep.
And we became teeny boppers. I legitimately, listen to me guys, had a Kevin Jonas poster above my bed freshman year of college. In high school, we were like two old women.
Just trying to get through school.
And then when we got to college, we were like, we're 13.
Like anytime burning up for you, baby. No, weren't gonna do that. Anytime it came on, which it did a couple of times on campus and stuff, like we did our dance.
And I will, since she brought that up, I made up my own contemporary dance to Burnin' Up by the Jonas Brothers. And we sat very close to, the cicadas are what you can hear in the background if you can hear them. And they saw me doing my Burnin' Up dance. That's it. That's my story.
That is true, though. There we go. This is it. Sorry.
Always been the kind of girl in my face, so afraid to tell the world what I've got to say. This isn't real, this isn't me, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be now. Gonna let the light shine on me. Now I found who I am, there's no way to hold it in. No more hiding who I wanna be. This is me. That's a song. so in the dark, dream about a life. You're the shining star, even though it seems like it's too far away. I have to believe in myself. It's the only way. You're the missing piece. I need the song inside of me. I need to find you. I gotta find you. No more hiding who I wanna be. Yeah, this is me. You're the missing piece. I need the song inside of me. You're the voice I hear inside my head. Yeah. That is what we do in the car. College. I do that by myself in the car too. Nothing? No? Not you?
Not really. I listen to a lot of talk radio now. Because I'm listening to music all day and reviewing
Old.
it. I listen to a lot of music during the day.
Editor-in-chief. Does that make you feel like a badass?
I mean, the title does. It runs you into the ground. When you have a small staff like IMPOSE does. It's a lot of work, but it's cool.
Yeah. What do you see yourself doing, not business-wise, in 5 years? Like, where do you see yourself growing?
It's kind of a dream job right now, but I don't know. I hate being that person, but I have no idea where I see myself in 5 years. Right now I'm living in a rented apartment that I think is pretty cool, and
We're sitting in it right now. Do you see yourself finishing one of your books or writing a new book?
probably. Yeah. Yeah. Probably finish. I want to finish a
Wow,
draft.
that's how she feels about this time
Wine.
together.
It's wine. I want to finish a draft probably by the end of this year. A draft, like a rough draft of one of my books. It's just really hard, and a lot of people will tell you this, when you actually do finally get a job in writing, which is great. Like, not a lot of writers have like a consistently paid gig. I'm lucky. But when you get a job like that, especially when I have to oversee every bit of everything that goes through both channels, MOSHERY and IMPOSE, and I'm doing photo sets, and we're doing video, and we're working with all these people, I'm like the point person for all of it. So by the end of the day, when I come home, I just want to veg out. Just want to like do yoga or watch TV and not be attached to my computer. So it's harder in that regard to want to write anything.
But at some point,
But yeah,
you
you
want
have
to focus.
I get on creative binges, and I'll write and I'll write and I'll write, and then I'll stop for a while.
I
you know?
call those my work sprints.
Does it make you feel better about not being a runner?
Yes.
I mean, we're not runners.
Running is not my thing.
I do elliptical at most.
I like to lift heavy weights.
Yeah, she's a heavyweight champ over here.
I
And
still
I'm yoga
have.
and elliptical.
I still have. At the time that we were recording, the Olympics are on. I still have dreams of the Olympics. I am going to
Should be an archer.
take a rowing clinic. We were talking about that.
Archer.
I've
Have you
seen
seen that?
Groupons for archery, and I think you and me and Mom should do that.
4 years ago, I was watching the Olympics from the apartment, and I was between jobs, where I was ending my job, my internship, and I was starting to try to find jobs in the city. And I watched a lot of the Olympics, and I ended up watching China compete in archery one day, and I was like, they're so intense, that's what I want to do.
That was before Katniss. Like,
Yeah.
before she burst onto the scene.
Yeah, I was not, I mean, none of that would have influenced my interest in archery. I just think, like, anyone can do it. You could be 40 years old and doing archery.
Apparently, you can be 42 years old and a gymnast. You can be any age. I saw a 61-year-old competing equestrian today.
But I will say, Erin and I discovered our actual prowess in the Olympics our freshman year of college. We were told that we could easily compete and win in speed walking.
Is that a sport still, though?
I don't know.
I don't think it's in the Olympics anymore.
Brian
I want to
told
be a
us that.
synchronized swimmer,
That's too much work.
but I can't swim.
It's too much work.
Like, I can swim, but it's not like, I don't know.
It's too much work.
No, I don't look at it as too
You have
much.
to
I think
memorize
it's a
things.
challenge.
I feel like archery is a challenge, but you don't have to memorize things.
Yes, you do. You have to memorize things all the time. Okay, so I was asked this question recently. I was doing an interview actually on location in New York with a musician. And he happens to have twin sons. And he asked me, will they stay close? How? Because at this point, he said they are 12 years old and they are just like bickering all the time. What are your thoughts? How do we stay close?
We bicker all the time. We always have. I think we stay close because we have common interests and common, not only entrepreneurial, but just like creative goals. We both like doing like event planning and stuff randomly. So if our friends have an event coming up, we're like, oh, we'll help with that. And like,
we love surprises. We love gifting
surprise
things.
parties, gifts. Yeah, like, I mean, we always level out in those areas. So like, even if we don't see each other for a while, like, we live relatively close to each other. And like, when I was in New York, we talked to each other every day. Like, we text each other all the time. So
we both love donuts and ice cream.
yeah.
There have been a couple of occasions where we have gotten each other the same or similar gifts.
It's more than a couple occasions. Like,
Tell them about our 20th birthday.
20th birthday.
That one sticks out.
We both made each other's scrapbooks, but they were like memory scrapbooks. So we asked friends all over the place to like send memories and pictures and stuff about their favorite times with the other twin. And nobody said anything, but like at the end, people were like, well, we didn't know like if it was a surprise or if you guys had told each other, because it was the exact same thing. And it's true, we did the exact same thing.
Does twin telepathy exist? I think that if you're close to someone, even if you're just friends with them forever, and you're like, you see each other all the time, you talk with them all the time. We had a language before we could talk, my mom tells us.
Mom said that.
But you spend enough time with someone, and we've spent 26 years together, you're gonna kind of like, you can finish each other's sentences. It doesn't necessarily take 26 years. We've just had 26 years. So my answer in my report was no, and I honestly did that report in high school. We were really good, especially in high school, and I'm looking that way because that's where Meredith is. She's picking up her cat. Cat lady. Schmidt lady. We were really good at maneuvering things, not manipulating. We're going back to the beginning because Meredith said manipulating earlier, and then we moved past it. Not manipulating. Here's the thing. In high school, I feel like we were really good at advocating for other people. It wasn't just us for ourselves. It wasn't us asking questions during a test because we wanted answers. It was us trying to help the whole class.
Yes, that's true.
It was us working on homework together because we were helping people. We were bringing them along with us. And I feel like that spirit has grown into us doing what we're doing now. You not only being the editor-in-chief for 2 online publications. It's huge.
It's a big deal. It's just exhausting.
But also into Doubletake for our photography, for our short films, all of that. And I feel like it's a massive, just a growth in that area. You may be wondering why I'm holding a cat right now. It's getting dark outside, so we juggled some lights around, and I caught the cat. Hey, Schmidt and kitten. I'm gonna put him down on the table. Okay, so we could continue this conversation forever because we kind of do. Our conversation never really ends. I'm not going to say we have genius conversations because we don't, but we text each other all the time, and when we're not texting, we're together. Don't even try to drink my drink. Here, try it. But here's the part of the interview discussion chat where I bring in the Pivot questionnaire. Should be answering right now.
Right now.
What is your favorite word?
My favorite word?
So much for rapid.
It's supposed to be rapid fire. What do you expect when you put wine in me?
Greatness. been using, in a lot of my writing lately, I've been using the word stellar. Stellar. I feel like it's got a funny, like, 80s connotation to it, and people don't really use it, so...
Wicked.
Yeah. So I feel like right now, word I've been using a lot is stellar, so we'll go with that.
What is your least favorite word?
There's so many.
Go for it.
I hate, whoa. I hate the word slit.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Music.
What turns you off?
Pretentious people.
What is your favorite curse word?
I curse like a sailor.
Say it.
Well, favorite or the one I use the most?
I mean, it says favorite, but do what you wish, or both.
I say more than anything else. I say it all the time. I use it as every other word.
What sound or noise do you love?
Not that. Not the drunk people outside across the street.
There have been drunk people outside almost this whole time I've been recording.
Yep. I live across from a bunch of bars. I actually like his little kitty meows waking me up in the morning.
Drink it, I dare you.
He's just gonna sit in front of you in front of the camera.
That's fine. What sound or noise do you hate?
All the drunk people outside.
You don't hate that.
I do
It's
hate it.
entertaining.
You know when people are like concerned about you and they ask you how you're doing, and it's like a loaded question? I hate that. Like when people are like, Meredith, how are you? And they like
touch your hand.
Yeah, or like just that demeanor when someone's feeling sorry for you at any point in time for any reason. I hate it. That's the worst noise. Stop touching me.
I knew I would get a reaction. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I like my profession. I would like writer. I mean, I'm already that, but I want to be a novelist or like release a book. I would also like to go on tour with a band, but I can do that in my capacity now as a writer, as a photographer. And I would also like to score for a movie, at least one that you do. And what else? Oh yeah, I'd like to sing my own music. Like I'd like to sing on at least one track, and I think I'm well on my way there, at least lyrics wise, but I'm not good at the composition of the instrumentals. I'd have to work with someone on that.
What profession would you not like to do?
I would never want to be a dentist. I've had that discussion, or a dental hygienist, like nothing with teeth, because the teeth is where your health starts, and a lot of people don't realize that, and they don't take advantage of it, and it's disgusting. Like, I don't want plaque flying up at me. I've heard horror stories from our friend Jack, who just became a dentist, and I have no desire, zero desire.
But at the same time, kudos to those that do it.
Well, right. I respect and admire people that are doctors and nurses and dentists by trade, but I don't like any part of the anatomy enough to deal with it every day. Period.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Yeah, I know these questions.
But do you know your answer?
Yeah, I want him to say, you inspired a lot of people.
What is the legacy you want to leave?
That's a really big question.
And?
I don't know.
Is it to be continued?
Nah. I just want to do something that inspires the people in my life. So I guess my legacy would to be known as an inspiration. But I don't know how. Like
You don't know how?
I want people to remember me and think, well, shit, if she did all this stuff, like I can do at least one of those things, you know?
Like what?
Like she brought music journalism to Kansas City. I want to do that. Or she wrote her own song and performed it. Like I'd like to do that. Like people who think that they can't do something, I want them to look at any one of the million things that I've already done and any of the things that I'm going to do, because there's a lot on my plate and a lot coming up. And I want them to look at it and be like, well, I can do that. I mean, I've had a couple people tell me that I've inspired them, and I love hearing that. And I think getting people out of ruts, getting people to think that, or to realize that they're more than they thought they were, is like my biggest goal.
Thank you so much to Meredith Schneider for being on the 6th episode of ChatConnect. To find out more from Meredith, visit any of these links here. Or you can find her on Instagram or Twitter @MerilyGrace. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.